On a le plaisir ce soir de recevoir le vice-président exécutif aux opérations hockey chez le Canadien, Jeff Gorton. Thanks for being with us tonight, Jeff.
Merci beaucoup.
Avec Vincent D'Anfous and PJ.
Already his French is better than mine.
Better than yours, of course. Jeff, we just see this clip that Habs fans don't hesitate to give you advice for team management. Is it the same with former players? Like Vincent D'Anfous and PJ Stock, are you listening to them when they give you advice?
Watch how you answer this one.
Definitely listen to Vinny. PJ, we're still working on it. But yeah, listen, there's a lot of former players in this market. You know, we're trying to do our best to integrate them into what we're doing as much as we can. So we definitely want to listen to them, and you know, we don't listen to, they're not all great ideas, but some of them are.
How was it to have...
My advice is where you should go for dinner at a hockey park.
Yeah.
How was it to have those cameras for a year long around the scene?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I think the players actually like it when the product, you know, is now coming out. They're enjoying watching themselves and seeing how it all comes out. But, you know, there are times where, you know, the coach is speaking to the team and it's, you know, you're trying to get a message across, and you don't want it to look like it's fake with cameras in there. So there's a little bit of that, but for the most part, I feel like the crew does a good job of blending in.
It seems like, well, it's clear that you have a good chemistry you can't use, but how does it work on a day-to-day when you want to sign guys, when you want to trade, when you talk about cap management? Like, how does it work, the dynamic between you two, and
actually,
who pulls the trigger, actually?
On that with Jeff as well.
Yeah.
Like, because there's also, so how does that work?
I mean, we're talking all the time. So Ken and I spent a lot of time together, as you see from the show there. But listen, I've tried to give him all the duties of being a general manager, of talking to the GMs, of dealing with the agents, of doing everything that's necessary that I did when I was a general manager that felt like was the appropriate way to do it. I feel like with my experience and being around the team a lot and having my relationships with the players and Marty and all that, I'm a good sounding board for him. He can come to me with everything, and you know, we spent a lot of time in the summer game planning what we're going to do, going through strategy, doing that. I try to be in every meeting, but mostly I'm letting him do everything as a general manager, and I'm trying to be a sounding board and use my experience as much as possible.
I think that clip that we just showed, that's the most smiling I've ever seen you so far since you've been here. We have you on camera, and it's like...
Definitely not true.
You said, one thing you said that we've lived it, and we see it still every day, is growing up on a game day or going to a restaurant, there's really no off switch. Is that a good... Would you say it's a good thing for the young guys, or it's a hard thing for the young guys to adjust to?
I think it's both. I think that any hockey player like yourselves, you want to be in a market where people care, and we found it, right? So we're in Montreal, and like I said in the clip, everybody here knows hockey or knows something about hockey, the game, understands our team, knows what we're doing right now. So I think that's really good for the environment. If I was a player, I think that's where I'd want to be, in a place where people cared. Yeah, I think there's a definite component of would you like to turn it off and go somewhere and get away from it all. But I think they all have found, you know, they spend a lot of time together. Maybe they stay in, have dinners together that way, just stay away from it. But for the most part, I would say 90% of it's great.
Do you guys follow their social media, or do you guys have someone? I mean, we didn't grow up with it.
Yeah.
So when we were bad, you yelled at us.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Or, but now
it's working.
Yes. Now they have other outside people that are telling them what they think of them.
Yeah. We definitely follow it. You know, if something's happening where we need to be alerted that there might be a message out there that we don't agree with, or we need to talk to a player, you know, we have people in place for that for sure. Fortunately, it hasn't happened too often. So, but it is something that, like you said, when you guys played, and whatever 20 years ago, we didn't have to think about this at all. And they're getting the feedback.
20, you were more.
Yeah, they get instant feedback if they want it from outlets that they probably don't need it from. So that's probably the most disturbing part of it is. And we encourage, you know, I tell all the players, I joke around and say, get a flip phone, right? Because if you don't want to hear from it, so.
The series is the rebuild. In the last episode of the series, Kent Hughes says to Uri Slavkovsky during the exit meeting, the tolerance for losses has to get smaller smaller and smaller. What is your tolerance of loss?
Well, I think it's true. Like it's a good. It's Kent's right on the money. I do feel like if you take last night's game against Pittsburgh, I just felt in the room after the game there was a lot of players that were frustrated that we didn't finish that off, that we got the lead, we had a poor start, we came back in the second, played well, got a 3-2 lead, and then we felt like we made a couple mistakes that really cost us a win. And being in the room after the game, watching the coaches, watching the players, I saw a level of frustration that maybe we haven't seen before now. So I feel like the players are sensing that they want more.
So we get some new players this year, but if I go back to training camp, I watch a lot of the games in training camp. Is there somebody on your roster that really opened your eyes, that really surprised you? If you got a couple names to say, okay, this guy had a great camp and made the team and really evolved, or a veteran that really stepped up?
Listen, there's some young guys there I think that played well that we didn't necessarily have a spot for. I thought Dobish played really good and showed us what it could look like down the road. I thought Emil Heineman had a really good camp and made our team. I thought the Kapanen, he showed enough to be here to keep looking to see what it could look like for us. So to put him in opportunities to see what might be next and how we can use them. So there was a lot of guys. As far as the veterans, I feel like Jake Evans has been a pretty solid guy for us throughout camp. He probably doesn't get a lot of accolades. You don't hear much about him, but from day one in camp, I feel like he came to, he's in the final year of his contract, trying to assert himself and show us, he wants to be part of it going forward.
We start with the fluff questions to warm you up.
Yeah.
And then we get going. I asked Kent right out of the gate when we sat down with Kent last year, with this plan, where are we in this plan? I know in your successful stays before in Boston, when you figured it was right, you get Chara and Savard. In New York, the moment's kind of right, you go and get Panarin. And they completely, organizations just took off from there. Where do you feel you are with that type of moment with the Canadiens? Could it be this year? Are we a year away?
It could be. It could be. I feel like, we're moving in that direction. Sometimes the market will dictate who's available, what are the players available. You saw a little of it with our acquiring Patrick Laine, unfortunately the injury, but we felt like our team is doing all the right things, moving in the right direction, that he would be a player that might be able to help us with our offense, with our power play. So there's no question we're moving in that direction. When that day is coming, who's that player or players, I don't know, but I think we're in a pretty good spot based on the assets we've acquired.
Tell the people who's the next guy you're bringing in.
Who's the next PJ
My mom's always
Stock?
watching. She's always like, tell them to bring in, what about that Crosby guy?
No. He's pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good, yeah.
But how the loss of Patrick Laine changed not the mind, but the thing that want to be in the mix, but now that Laine is gone for a couple of months?
Yeah, I don't think anything's changed in the players' eyes or with coaches or management. We still feel like we have a lot of guys in that room capable of giving us a push and being better than we were last year. And I said this before at the press conference to open the season. I feel like our best players can still be better. And, that's good. That means there's a lot of room for growth in our team. And, we're seeing it. We played 4 games, and I think that we can see through our whole lineup that we can still be better. There's a lot of room for growth in our team to be better.
Let's talk about maybe a touchy subject, but Ivan Demidov.
Demidov, he scored this afternoon. He scored. And we have his goal. His goal on there.
Like, it's interesting because we're so far, right? He plays in the KHL. He's Rookie of the Month in September. Playing great at the beginning of the year. We get clips every day watching him, spectacular goals. Great assists, great playmaker. He's obviously a great prospect for the organization. But in the last 7 games, he's played like 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. We don't really understand what's going on. And he's back playing, like obviously he scored today, but it must be frustrating for you guys. And is it possible for you guys to, bring him a little quicker so he can develop and have more control over his development?
Because of the situation with the KHL not having an agreement, with the league, we can't just end his contract anytime we want. Everybody thinks we can buy him out of his contract. It's not realistic. He's got the 1 year left, and
this year?
Yes, this year. So listen, we're really excited about this player. He is very talented. We've seen what you see. We see the ice time dipping. We are in contact with the organization, and you know, they know how we feel, and you know, this is the #1 reason why when we have a player like that, or any organization does, you want to sign him and get him over and control all of it right away. So
Is it
a little bit out of our control right now, and yeah, frustrated that he's not playing more, but at the same time, we know he's a very gifted player.
Yeah.
We also know their team has, you know, 35 players on it, and that's what traditionally they've been doing. So, you know, we're going to be patient, and we're excited for when he comes over here.
Yeah, he's
For the
goal
record.
today, anyways.
Yeah,
For the record.
yeah, right away.
4 minutes is a lot of ice time in a game.
4 minutes.
Like,
So you
Look
know
what you
you're
did with
talking
it.
about.
Boston, yeah, 4 minutes.
PJ.
You were able to
Yeah.
play 4 minutes, and somehow you were selling T-shirts outside the building.
Yeah, I was working. I'm always working.
Yes.
I'm always working. But I was able to get away after those 4 minutes of ice time, and I didn't have social media. I'd go back to my house and listen to music, and I can decompress. How do you Kent puts a toque on and a little mustache and glasses. No one has a clue about Kent when he walks around with a toque. The moment he covers his head.
Truthfully, he does not hide anything. I always say to him, can you put a hat on? Just not draw attention to us. I feel like I can blend in a little better. But he
loves it.
The bald head is just such an attraction, right? So it's tough on me when I'm with him. But
Music, movies,
for me, no. Listen, I have 2 kids that are busy with college, and I spend, you know, we talk a lot and see how they're doing. They're away from me, so I try to stay in tune with what they're doing. And one of them plays hockey, so I do that. And yeah, maybe a movie here and there, but it's a lot of hockey right now, right?
Yeah.
Like you know, we're looking at a lot of games starting and seeing what the rest of the league is doing and keeping up with Laval. So most of it's hockey and family, and you know, I wouldn't say I'm too hip, but know what the right music is or anything like that. So.
Time's running very fast. We have a little trivia. It's back to school.
Oh, yeah.
With questions with our guests every time, and they appreciate those questions. Funny
I
questions.
love these questions.
And PJ loves it. First question, Jeff. What is Jeff Gorton's favorite dish? A, Boston clam chowder, B, New York pizza, or C, Montreal poutine?
Oh, wow. Tough one.
Well, experience. I'm going to go with the poutine.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say poutine, right? We actually have a head coach that really likes his poutine.
Yeah, Marty likes.
So I usually try to take his crumbs.
All right. Against which team is the victory sweetest for Jeff Gorton? A, the Rangers, B, the Bruins, C, the Leafs.
Oh, victory over. I got it. I'd say right now it's the Rangers, you know, considering it's probably my last team I was with. Bruins is, you know, time heals all wounds.
Yeah.
Right? The Rangers is probably still a little more fresh, but beating the Leafs is enjoyable too. So those are all pretty good ones.
All right. Who is more popular in Boston? A, Jeff Gorton.
Yeah.
B,
Definitely not.
Patrice Bergeron. Or C, PJ Stock.
Wow. Well, there was a time where PJ Stock was the most popular player we had.
It's close to
right?
Bergeron.
And it drives people insane that your fourth line player is more popular than the rest, right? So
It was. I was misused.
Yes, but he was very popular for a time. But I'm going to have to take Patrice on this one.
Yeah.
Just by a hair.
By a hair, okay.
By a hair. Not one of Kent's hairs, though.
No.
Last one. The title of the Habs series on Crave is The Rebuild.
Yes.
What will be the title of the series next season? A, the ceiling. B, the plumbing. C, the painting.
The painting. Wow. How about D, none of the above?
None of the above?
None of the above. I think it'll be the rebuild keeps
Part
going,
two
right?
keeps going?
Yeah. So just 1 year further. That's what we are.
And about the start of the season, 4 games, 500 left now.
Yeah.
It's okay? So it's fine?
Well, it's not okay. I mean, I think that these 4 games, you know, they show us some good and some bad. And I'm confident that as we move forward here, we're going to get better and better, and we should be okay.
You heard it. Playoffs. He just said playoffs.
A word in peace.
Mais série, il vient de le dire.
That's that AI. It can say anything, right?
Jeff Gorton, thanks a lot for being with us tonight. Very appreciate. Thanks, and best of luck for the season. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks.